What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Cup of Cinema, where we talk movies, reviews, opinions, and more. So there is spoilers. My name is Joseph. I'm here with my co-host and beautiful fiance, Acacia.
Wow.
How's it going today, babe?
Really good. I got up at 7 to someone bringing me coffee and a breakfast item.
Yep.
That someone being my wonderful fiance.
Wow.
And then I went and played tennis for an hour, so that was good.
Cool. Nice.
I feel energized.
Nice.
How was your morning?
It was good. I woke up, got you that coffee, got myself a coffee, and got myself a little lemon treat, which was great, from cafe next to us called Dilly Dally. And then I played Fallout 76, which was a perfect game to start the morning with, because that's what we'll be talking about today. Not the video game, but the TV show Fallout. Just came out on Amazon, and
Did it just come out?
it came out April 10th, I believe, so last month. Yeah. So we'll be talking about that since we just finished the show the other night. And but before we get into all that, let's have a coffee. What kind of coffee are we having this morning?
We're doing the same one as last week. Gotcha, because I just have more coffee left and I need to use it.
Yeah,
Which is
and
fine,
it was really good.
because it was really good. Even
Yeah.
though, again, it's roasted for espresso, it's really good as a filter.
I enjoyed it.
So yeah, I'm gonna brew that if you wanna
Yeah.
get into
Wait, how are you
everything.
brewing the coffee though?
Oh, sorry.
I always like to know too.
I'm just doing kind of the usual thing that I do. I'll switch it up next time, but I'm just doing AeroPress. Just regular old
Nice.
AeroPress. I'm
Hey,
doing like
not everybody knows what an AeroPress is,
the
right?
easiest, most generic recipe I can possibly do.
Nice.
It's good for like every coffee I've been using, which is really nice.
Just throw it in there, put the water in, and then you just... So it's like a French press then, essentially.
Sorta, yeah. Same concept.
Just has a filter and all that.
Yeah, and you can kind of customize how you brew it a little better. Like it's easier to isolate each piece that you're doing in the brewing. Like you can adjust the water amount, you can adjust the grind, you can adjust how long you're letting it sit, you can adjust the pressure in which you're pushing down or plunging, you can, stir it or not stir it. There's just like so many different things to play with.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, so I'm excited for that. All right, so breakdown quickly of how the show's going to go. We're going to have our wonderful coffee soon. We're going to talk about our background with Fallout, talk about the plots, the actors, opinions on the movies, cool things to know, our reviews, and then we're just going to end it off with a movie we're looking forward to watching. And yeah, we're not, we're just talking more about our opinions and reviews. We're not going to get into like the core facts of the show like some other podcasts do. We're just having fun.
What's the core facts of the show that people talk about? Like
some people make like 2-3 hour podcasts, which I like listening to sometimes, but they'll be like,
fun
in
facts on the
2014 on day 31,
okay.
yeah, on production, blah, blah,
That's
so
cool.
said this to so. Yeah, some of it's really cool, but we're just talking about how we enjoyed the show or disliked it or
Keeping it
whatever.
simple.
But yeah, keeping it simple. I like to have some movie news though, but I couldn't find any big news this week, so we're just gonna jump into the background with Fallout. So my background with Fallout is I started with Fallout 4. Great game. I absolutely loved it. I became obsessed with it. And then I played the older ones, which were a little bit harder to get into just because they're older graphics and all that. But I did like New Vegas. And I've been wanting to play Fallout Tactics, which is like one of those Halo War type of games, like top-down it looks like, but it's not on Game Pass. But all the other ones are on Game Pass, so if you have Game Pass, get on the Fallout world. So yeah, obsessed with Fallout 4. Played Fallout New Vegas, really liked that one. Played and still play Fallout Shelter on my iPad. Love
All
that.
the time.
Obsessed. And now I'm just ripping through Fallout 76. I did not like Fallout 76 on launch. I gave it a couple other tries, didn't like it as well, but it seems to be a really good game now. After watching the show, I jumped back into it, and now I'm obsessed again.
But it's funny that 4 is your favorite, because I heard that 4 is one of the worst
Yeah,
ones.
I know everybody says 4 is the worst, one of the worst ones, but maybe because I didn't know the storyline. Because it seems like people didn't like it because the storyline was not as good as the other ones, but I loved the game and the gameplay.
That kind of makes sense, because I haven't played Fallout very much, but my first ever one I think was 3.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. It just isn't my style of game, but I like the story and everything. And then I played, I think, New Vegas a little bit, and that was okay too, but I just couldn't get into it. And then I played 4, and I really didn't enjoy it. I was trying to get into like the house building. I think there's like a house building aspect in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I I was like, maybe I could use it as like a simulator.
I know that was the only thing with Fallout 4 that I didn't enjoy too much was it was a bit glitchy because it was such a big game, and I think
Yeah,
on
so
release date it was probably really glitchy, like how 76 was. Because when 76 came out, it was the worst piece of trash ever that Bethesda ever put out. Like it had to be worse than Fallout 4 because it was full of bugs. It got
Are they
bad
online?
reviews, bad ratings.
Like, is it kind of buggy because there's so many people?
76 is an online game. Fallout 4 was more of a not online campaign game. So like it's Fallout 76 is pretty much Fallout 4 but online, and it was just really buggy. It was bad. It was bad. But it's better now. Now I'm having a lot of fun with it. I even got my Vault 33 backpack in Vault 76 game, so I'm a little Vault 73 dweller. Yeah, so
33?
Vault, 33. What did I say? 73?
73?
Yeah, 33. 33 dweller, so yeah. How's the coffee?
It's good. I feel like it was better last time I brewed it for some reason. I don't know if that tracks.
It is really good though.
It is good.
I'm
I
enjoying
just
it.
feel like last time I was more pleasantly surprised by it. It tastes a little over extracted.
Green apple, jasmine, and honey notes. I don't really taste green apple. Always taste.
No, it's over extracted right now. So typically when a coffee's maybe a little less extracted, like under extracted, you'll get more of the like bright notes, which would be green apple probably. Or if it's extracted properly, you might get that. But because I over extracted it, I think you're not really going to get that like crisp, acidic profile.
Yeah, on these coffees, I always taste that tea profile. Whatever tea it is. This one is jasmine, I think, but I always have a tea taste when I drink these coffees.
Because they're so light, you're used to dark Italian style.
Yep. All right, guys. So let's get into the plot and budget/profit of this TV show. So the series depicts the aftermath of the Great War of 2077, an apocalyptic nuclear exchange in the alternate history of Earth. So it's an alternate history of Earth, which is cool info to know. So it's an alternate history of Earth where advances in nuclear technology after World War II led to the emergence of a retro-futuristic society. So pretty much after, if we think of our world, after World War II, we became more, I guess, advanced in nuclear technology, which why they looked all retro, even though it's kind of happening in our time period, pretty much, roughly. So many survivors took refuge in the fallout bunkers known as vaults, unaware that each vault was designed to perform psychological and physiological experiments on the vault dwellers. More than 200,000 years later, in 2296, a young woman named Lucy leaves behind her home in Vault 33 to venture out into the dangerously unforgiving wasteland of Los Angeles to look for her father. Which I didn't know it took place in Los Angeles while I watched the show.
That's in California, right?
I believe so,
Because it kept saying, don't know our American geography, it kept saying like New California and stuff like that in the show.
Yeah.
And so I figured it was probably somewhere.
Yeah, so it
like
takes,
that.
so Los Angeles, the year 2296. So,
and you can kind of tell from the beginning scene when they're in that mansion, like it looks like it'd be Los Angeles or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it looks like old
they
school,
show it
rich
off. Yeah.
Los Angeles.
So Fallout has the largest budget of any of the shows at 153 million in qualified expenditures for the season.
Sorry, any of the shows? What shows?
I know, I don't understand. I got this off Google. It says, I guess, of any of the shows. I don't know if Fallout had any other shows or if Bethesda had any shows.
Maybe it was any other shows. Maybe that's what I meant to say.
Yeah, maybe. So 153 million though for the season. It was produced in New York while some filming was in Utah. So some cool facts. What do you think? Oh yeah, let's go over the actors really quickly too. Do you want to go over the actors?
Sure.
Good luck with the names.
So the main character's name is Lucy, the Vault Dweller, and the actor's name is Ella Purnell. And then there's Lucy's father, who is Hank McLean in the show. Actor's name is Kyle MacLachlan. And then Norm, which is Lucy's brother, I recognized him in the show and I couldn't remember, but I think it's the guy who played in Hannah Montana or one of those Disney shows. I'm pretty sure Hannah Montana. But his name is Moises Arias.
Moises Arias. What a name.
Moises? I'm not too sure. And then Maximus, which is one of the other main characters, alongside Lucy. It kind of follows the story of 3 people. Well, 4.
Yeah.
It's also like inside the vault, her brother and stuff. But Maximus is the guy in the Brotherhood wearing this steel suit. The actor's name is Aaron Moten. And then there's the Ghoul, which I really like that character. He's more interesting. And the actor's really good. And his name is Walton Goggins.
Nice. He's a great actor.
The gunslinger guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's like you're saying, there's pretty much three main storylines, and then there's side quests.
So
you
Lucy,
think of it like that.
Maximus, the Ghoul,
Yeah.
and then they kind of go back to the vault where Lucy came from. And
Which would be like the side quest things, yeah.
Which is cool because you get to see what's going on in the vault still while experiencing the other stuff, and it doesn't take you out at all. It's like you keep wanting it to stay on that story so you can learn more about it, and then it goes back, which is nice because you want to learn more about that. But then you're just like dabbling in all these things, which is awesome.
Always
It's
back
done
and
well.
forth.
Yeah.
But so like we'll start off really quickly with Lucy's story. So Lucy starts in Vault 33. She gets assigned to marry somebody, and then from Vault 32, because there's 3 conjoining vaults, Vault 31, Vault 32, Vault 33. It's like a little triangle thing going on. And then what happens is the guy who she's supposed to marry, I guess, tries pretty much raping her, and he's actually a raider, and the other vault dwellers dressed as Vault 32 dwellers are all raiders, so they raid Vault 33 and they lose. But during that, her father's kidnapped and taken to the outer world, the wasteland. So she like gets her bag and she heads out there with help from her brother helping her escape, and I guess her cousin that she was fooling around with as well.
Yeah.
Weird. The
It's
little
good. They have a
weird
lot
vaults.
of comedy in it.
A lot of great comedy.
Which is very Fallout style.
Yeah, so then she sets out to pretty much save her dad, and during that she meets Maximus, which is
The guy from the Brotherhood.
the guy from the Brotherhood, and she meets the Ghoul, who's kind of like treating her like shit the whole show.
Yeah. Well, he's been
been through a
He's
lot.
been on the surface for so long, like
Yeah.
longer than anybody really. So he knows the ropes and he knows how to treat people because he's been treated like dog shit.
Yeah, exactly, through the wasteland for all those
Yeah.
years. So that's pretty much her story in a nutshell.
Which also is really cool because I like how they didn't typically in shows and movies, like if they have, they always have like an attractive female lead, which is like a little annoying because it's not realistic, but it's also like I understand it gets the viewers in, but they often kind of treat them better in shows. Like they don't let them get dirty and messy, or if they do, it's in like a hot way or something, and it's like, what? This doesn't make any sense. But in this show, it's like, she loses a finger and she's all disgusting and dirty, and she's still pretty in the end, but like, she goes through the ringer and they don't hold back on that at all, and I like that they're not like keeping her all like delicate and soft, like.
Exactly. Yeah, let's talk about Lucy for a bit. So I thought, played by Ella Purnell, I thought she was an amazing character. I loved her storyline. Like you said, like they really brought her through the ringer. She gets her finger cut off. She gets thrown into like that. I guess she was going to be sold seller organs in that place. Like, and she is a very strong character too. That's what I like. Like she was so nice and upbeat, even though the wasteland is such a dirty and like depressing place. But she also has like skills that she learned in the vault, like how to fight and all that. So she's a good fighter too.
Unrealistic. Like it kind of is, like all of it's kind of weird, but like they do touch on the fact that she like, was practicing with guns and stuff in the vault.
In the vault,
so it all makes sense, and it's not like reaching super far. Like she just happens to also be a badass. It's like she was trained, brought up that way.
Yeah. So that's what I really liked about Lucy, though. Like she's a great character. It just goes through it. But yeah, along the way we meet Maximus, which is the Brotherhood of Squire to the Brotherhood of Steel. And his story pretty much is he was a kid when the second, I think, bombs dropped, when Sandy Hills got destroyed.
Like that, yeah.
I didn't like the storyline. I still got to look into a little bit more because I didn't understand. Like she thought that only one bomb dropped, but actually 2 dropped, and her father is the one that kind of destroyed Sandy Hills, the other city.
Well, we
but
know about
we'll
two,
get
but
into
it could have been more even. We
it
don't
could have
really
been
know.
more, yeah. So, but yeah, he was pretty much in one of those bomb droppings. He lived because he was in a fridge, and
A
then
milk fridge.
a milk fridge. Yep, and then
And
he
then
was
the Brotherhood saved him.
yeah, the Brotherhood saved him, and he wanted to be a Brotherhood member all his life. Then he went out, pretty much found out the Brotherhood's a bunch of dicks, and they're
But
not
so
as
was he. He was kind of addicted.
he was
I mean,
turning into one, right? Because you
Yeah.
are what you are always around, right?
yeah, I really
So
didn't like his character at first. I thought he was like kind of like annoying.
yeah, he seemed like he was turning into one of them, like a bad guy, even though he's trying to be good. Like he started off,
Yeah.
they all probably have started out trying to be good, but then it just gets to them, the power and the authority. I guess it gets to all of them, like it always does to everybody.
That's true.
And yeah, but like because along the way, when he meets Lucy and tries slowly giving up the Brotherhood, he starts to change. Especially
Yeah.
when he was in Vault 12 or 18 or whatever, he was
Yeah.
there with his robe on, chilling. He
Yeah.
had no
Yeah,
expectation
I thought
to
it was
leave.
annoying at first because I didn't like his demeanor, like kind of like his how his face was. That sounds rude, but like the expression that he had on his
Yeah.
face for a lot of it was just like he looked like he was almost like pissed off and scheming, sort of. He had that sort of face.
He was lost in life.
But yeah, I guess like he was just trying to do the right thing, but was being thrown sort of in the bad side of things. So he's trying to persevere through that. So yeah, that is true.
Like, yeah, he looked up to the Brotherhood all his life, and then to hear what that guy, I think his name was Leonidas. I don't
Yeah, the
remember, but
previous.
yeah, hearing what
guy
he
who
was saying
squatted.
about the Brotherhood, what they do to their squires, how they treat others, he was like, "This is all a
Yeah,
lie."
because I was like, why is this guy not nice? Like, why
Yeah.
isn't he nicer? And then, but that's true. Like, everybody around him is being a dick. So, like, if you were really in that situation, you would probably be the same way. You wouldn't be like, no,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be good through and through. Like, it would be really hard to
Yeah.
be good.
But his best friend was a really positive and good guy. That's why I think
Yeah.
he kept his good side to him, while the Brotherhood itself was molding him to be something he
Yeah.
didn't want to be. So yeah, I agree with you. At the first, I didn't like his character too much, but he really grew on me because he's just a guy who's lost.
Yeah.
And he's trying to figure out where he fits in the world, and it's kind of nowhere.
Yeah.
So except
Yeah,
when he's
that's
with
true.
Lucy, like right. So
Yeah.
so it's a good little story
That's a
that
good
they've got
point.
going on. And then the other main big storyline is
The ghoul.
Yep, the Ghoul by played by Walton Goggins, who's an incredible actor.
Yeah.
Great actor. He's always in smaller roles, but
I mean, it's easier for him now because he does half of his face is missing, so
Yeah.
like it's harder to convey expression, or maybe not harder, but it's you don't see as much, so maybe it makes him seem like he's better. But regardless, like
even when he wasn't playing the Ghoul though, when he was his
Yeah.
cowboy form, I was like, this guy's awesome.
I
Like,
love
great
the
actor.
cowboy version of him.
Yeah. I see. I'm not a big fan when they go back and forth between shows,
Yeah.
but this one did it so well, and that's because that's one thing I wanted to say is out of everybody, the storyline, his storyline is I think the most important out of the storylines because
Well, he connects you to the past.
Yeah,
more.
exactly right. Because Lucy's storyline is I think the main storyline, but it's not the most important. I think it's just the main storyline. While Maximus's storyline is very important, but that's like not the main one either. I think the main storyline in the actual Fallout series is going to be around him, his daughter, and his wife, and Vault Tech itself. I think Lucy's just like the
Yeah.
start to the big storyline,
She's
which
just
revolves
like
around
a
the Ghoul.
means to get there. Like
Yeah.
we're following through her,
But the Ghoul
to
is
lead to something
storyline
else,
is the
yeah.
biggest, yeah. Because I really liked the Vault Tech thing. Like as a Fallout fan from the games, we never saw Vault Tech as like I'm guessing we all knew
yeah,
they were
like
probably
people
bad.
and stuff.
Yeah, like well they
real.
were bad with the cryogenic freezing and all that, and what happens in Fallout 4. But it really got into depth with just like have things happening in the vaults. So. What did happen in the vaults though? Like what was happening? If do you know? Like there's 3 vaults, they're all connected.
Yeah, so what it
was going
seems
on?
like is they have, so in the past, they had it so that whoever was working for Vault-Tec, so the Ghoul at the time's wife was a higher up in Vault-Tec, or whatever that initial company is, I don't know if that's the name of them, but they had that sort of round table discussion at one point,
Okay.
and all those people were like, I think they were like buyers or investors, and they were trying to plead their case, like, this is what we want to do, blah, blah, blah. And so it seemed like people who were involved in that, and even the assistant that was working there as well, she eventually became one of the overseers. So she was cryogenically frozen.
Cryogenically frozen, yeah.
Cryogenically frozen. So was the main guy who was sort of working with the ghoul's wife at the time. I don't remember his name. But he's later on in Vault Tech, he's the brain that was kind of going around in that
which
little
was crazy.
scooter in Vault 32.
Yeah.
And then she must have also been cryogenically frozen because, like, if they were, she was too.
Yeah.
So I think all those people probably were. And then I think other people within the business were like, the way they talked is that they trained people to become overseers. They pulled people who had that mindset and would stick with the company values.
Yeah.
And with the mission and the goal and everything. And so when Lucy gets into Vault 32 and there's all those people cryogenically frozen, different ones have already come out. But basically they pretend that they're overseers from other vaults who are chosen to come over, but they're actually like already pre-planned to be the overseer. And they always have a vote, but it always ends up being that person. Everything's skewed that way to be those people that they had already pre-planned so that they can keep their mission going, basically. Okay. Is the idea that I have. And the reason the brain is the one controlling it is because he's the main guy in the business. So he's like, or maybe not the main guy, but he's one of the really high ups. So like he wants this mission to be fulfilled.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Well, we're going to keep on talking about this because it's a big subject, but we're going to be going into intermission now. Yep. We're going to go have a little intermission, but we'll be right back with more Vault-Tec talk. All right, guys, we're back from intermission, and we're going to continue talking about the Vault and the Vault-Tec because it's pretty big and pretty important. But let's talk about Lucy's brother. So what do you think of Lucy's brother's character? Because he was a big part of the show, but he's a kind of a side mission, a side story. But what do you think of Norm?
I like Norm. I just think it's kind of funny that happens to be Lucy's brother, and he's the only one that is like super passionate about like breaking through the mold and like figuring things out.
Yeah.
Like surprised there aren't more people, or that they haven't like done something to like shut him up.
Yeah, that's true too. I think his friend, who's Lucy's cousin, also wants to have more truth, but he's scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of them are scared because I felt like there has to be more answers with that blonde girl. I forget her name, but it's the one that because she was on Norm's side at the beginning when Norm was standing up for like what was happening. Like he was at the beginning, he was standing up for like these weird conspiracies going on, and he was saying like something's going on, and I think Anne, the actual Vault-Tec leader now, she was like saying no, everything's fine, whatever. But the blonde girl who lost her husband to the Raider attack, she was like on Norm's side. And then she like switched.
Yeah,
like,
it was kind of a weird switch. But
she got her eye patch, and then she started turning. It's like they maybe did something to her brain.
It's possible she just has a different, like she knows more, and so she sort of agrees with him. But she has like a certain mindset of how the vault should be or something, and we just don't know what that is yet.
Because she was on Norm's side, and then she was back to
she might
welcome
still
to Vault-Tec.
I'm a Vault Dweller.
Like, she just didn't care about the truth anymore. And for a little bit at the beginning, she seemed like she did want the truth. And then she got this eye patch. And they said they experiment on Vault Dwellers.
But she also did say that, she said, your father would have done the right thing. So she obviously agrees with his dad. And he's for the Vault. So maybe she doesn't feel like against it.
She's back and forth maybe.
No, well, maybe she feels with it. But she just has a different agenda than what we think or something.
It looked like she wanted like anarchy in the vaults, like she wanted change through like more of a violent protest, I guess. Like they want more. What Norm really wants is more violence in the vaults by like they're treating the raiders with food and passion and all that, and he's like, these people just killed our people, like we should kill them or starve them or something. Like he wants to be a little bit more... But
he doesn't want violence in the vault. I think that's a wrong way to say it. But basically that way. But he just wants...
He doesn't want to be as nice.
He wants justice versus like complacence or... I don't know. Yeah.
So, but what he's so he found Vault 32 and found out that, people he's pretty much learning what we're learning through the Ghoul story, which is the Americans pretty much destroyed the world to be the only civilization when the world comes back through the vaults and all that.
Yeah, because the Ghoul's wife was saying how like everybody's all fighting, but if we could just get rid of the bad people who are creating the arguments or combating against them, then there will be no one to fight.
Yeah, but then there's a mistake in Vault-Tec's plan, in my opinion, because every three vaults are conjoined, and every three vaults scattered through. There's all scattered through America. There's three vaults here, three vaults here, three vaults here. They're all together, like as a little triangle. They work together, but they're also allowed to create their own world and all that, like the world that they want to come back into. But I know they're all American, but that doesn't make sense because they're still people. They're all gonna have different ideas. So how about if they all come back and their ideas clash? Because they're allowed to start their own little colonies through their own little
Yeah,
ideas. They're
but
given that.
remember the overseers are all pre-planned and they all
So
have
they all
they've
have
all been trained in what exactly
to do. Yeah, that's
procedures,
true.
you know,
That's
what year are
crazy.
you going to do this, what year are you going to do that, what are you going to do if someone does this? Like everything's already structured. They're just sort of following a plan.
Yeah, and I guess Lucy's dad, who was Hank McLean, he came out of Vault 33 at one point, I guess when Lucy was small, and destroyed Sandy Hills.
Because Lucy's mom found out somehow,
There's
I
power
forget,
and all
about
that.
all the weird dynamic and stuff and what was happening behind the scenes. So she fled with the children, and the
Into-
father went and tried to go after them, and then was pissed off that there was like this whole community there, and that she had found it, and I was so mad that he was like burned it and took her
Yeah,
back. Yeah.
which is crazy. What a crazy like idea, show, everything. So that's pretty much like the premise of the show and the characters that we followed, like in a little bit of a nutshell. But what do you think of the show though? Did you like
Yeah, I
Fallout?
really liked it. I enjoyed it. It was funny.
Yeah, it was really
I was
comedic,
expecting a little bit, but yeah. I
A
don't
lot
know,
of
it was
comedy, a
interesting,
lot of
funny.
gore. I thought it was very like
Yeah.
more on the violent side too, like
Which was nice.
which
'cause,
was good. Yeah,
I mean, if they didn't, it would have been stupid.
Yeah,
'Cause,
they
like,
showed
it
a lot.
Needs to be.
yeah. I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
they followed the show for the game very well. I think it's one of the best game adaptations that have turned into live action, whether it be
Yeah.
a movie or TV show. I think Halo needs to take serious notes. See, what I liked about the Fallout thing is this is a cool fact to know. I'll read it out quick. When Jonathan Nolan, so that's already amazing, is that Christopher Nolan's brother is the one who directed this and I think wrote it. But when Jonathan Nolan approached Bethesda with his idea of a Fallout television series, having been an avid player of the game series, Howard, after seeing what Nolan had created with the Westworld series, found that Nolan had a clear vision for the adaptation and agreed this approach was a good way to bring the game series to television screen. Bethesda, so this is important. Bethesda gave Nolan freedom to craft a story as long as it remained true to the Fallout universe, but served as its own unique story within the game series. So this is where I think Halo really dropped the ball and Fallout didn't, is that we're still canon with the Fallout series, but it's an entirely new story. As for where Halo really dropped the ball was they decided to make an entirely new show that has nothing to do with the game's storyline, but everything to do with the game. So they grabbed all the same characters and even the same main character, Master Chief, and then they just rewrote an entirely new storyline to Halo and Master Chief, which is stupid. Like if you're gonna take something and make it different, create different characters. Like, you know what I mean?
But
That's what
what's
really
going
ruined
on
Halo.
with everything, right? It
Yeah.
seems like all movies.
You're
and stuff
grabbing
are
all
like
these
that now.
characters and like Marvel has the multi-universe, so we don't know what the hell we're watching anymore and what character comes from what universe, which I don't like that as well because I hate the new Venom. He's just stupid with Tom Hardy and not having Spider-Man. But beyond that,
Hardy?
Tom Hardy's like playing Venom, but Tom
Oh.
Hardy's Venom does not have Spider-Man in
I was
the
thinking of Tom Holland.
world, which makes zero sense, which is also terrible. But Spider-Man and Venom don't make sense because Venom has to join with Spider-Man and Peter Parker to get onto Eddie Brock, for Eddie Brock to hate Venom and to hate Parker and Spider-Man. Just a whole
Whole other
shebang.
thing.
It's a whole shebang, yeah. But Halo should have really taken notes with the Fallout series because those were two game adaptations. One was a big hit and one was not a big hit. And the Halo show is, in my opinion, not even close to a big hit. Seeing Master Chief in that type of light sucks and ruined the whole show for me. But if they called him something different and he wasn't John Master Chief and all that, if he was Rick, Chief 425, I would have been like, this show's incredible. But just because we grew up with this character, having him one way, and so that's where I think they dropped the ball. But with Fallout though, I guess there isn't really a main character to the Fallout series. You're your own main character, but still, even if there was a main character to the Fallout series, how they went with this was better. They grabbed a new character, Lucy, somebody we've never seen before, and we followed her story in the Fallout world, and that's just
I mean,
how
really,
adaptation should be.
I feel like it's better from a director. I'm not really sure of all the like people's names that are actually doing these things, but I think from a director standpoint, because you get to have more fun with it and you get to create your own stuff versus if you take a character that's already fabricated, then you're stuck with all these things that you have to mimic and like all these expectations. But like if you create your own character,
Yeah.
isn't it more fun? Like, don't you have more fun with it? Isn't it more
Way
like
more
free
fun.
range? Like you have all this creativity of, you know, you can get all these opinions from all these other people and like, you know, make something new and like have it be yours versus taking this thing from someone else and like recrafting it. But maybe that's one of those things where people who own franchises or things like that, like maybe they're not willing to allow someone else to have that reign because they're
Yeah.
like, this is mine and I don't want you to take over it. So you can have a piece of it, but you're going to mimic what I created.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's why, I don't know, but
I think that they should just, if
Weird.
they're going to adapt games to movies or movies to games or whatever the case may be, just if you're going to use characters that are already created, follow their storylines, make them as the same as the comic books or wherever you're taking them from, make them the same. We don't want them changed. We want them the exact same. You want to change stuff, then make it the same and then change over time or create a whole new character. Because, you know, again, Spider-Man's a perfect example for me because I'm a Spider-Man fan and the MCU Spider-Man was terrible. It just jumped to like this 16-year-old multi-million-dollar tech gadget suit Spider-Man kid following Tony Stark. His first movie is in space, second movie is he's never in New York, he's never a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. They just totally butchered the Spider-Man character. Now if they told us he is Spider-Man from this Earth and he's not from the universe 616, okay, totally different story, but yeah, it's a butchered character. Spider-Man has a storyline, follow that. You want to create something new, Miles Morales, follow him. Like, so I think they need to stop doing that because again, yeah, it's just
yes.
I'm a big fan and it hits me. So some opinions on the movie. So I want to bring up is Lucy's foot. So she loses her boot in the beginning of the show, and she pretty much walks the wasteland for about 3 weeks, 2 weeks, and there's no decay to her foot at all. I think that was a weird.
Why would her foot
weird
decay?
scene.
If anything, her foot would decay from being in a boot because she's sweating. It's like when people are in war in the trenches,
But
right?
the
Like,
sand and like the heat and like
but she had
just
something on. She had a sock on her foot.
no, she was barefoot. The whole like 2 week walk through the wasteland, she
I'm
was
gonna Google
barefoot.
this.
So I thought that was a little bit like. There's only two little mistakes I would say in the Fallout show. Would be that one is just that she's just barefoot for 2 weeks in the wasteland and just didn't suffer from that.
Oh no! I looked up Lucy's foot and it's
Oh, it's something else I don't want to know, but
it went the other way.
yeah, but like yeah, so that was a weird thing, and then I wish they had more. They had the rads going, so they had like like you could hear is high radiation through
Yeah.
her Pip-Boy, which was amazing and all that, but they didn't have enough rad packs, I think they're called.
Yeah.
I wish they had more of that because they had a lot of stim packs, which was nice to see, but I wanted more radaways. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't incorporate that more.
Yeah, but I think radaway or raidaway is kind of weird because it's like you're putting in clean blood into your system, so it'd be a whole process to try and
Yeah,
show that
that's fair.
rather than a stim pack just. Psh.
Yeah.
And another thing I think they made a mistake on was the ghoul and power armor. So at the end of the show, the ghoul says that he knows how to kill anybody with power armor on, and when he shoots his gun, he can kill somebody with power armor on because there's a
'cause it's
weakness in the
like-
power armor. Yeah. So why didn't he kill Maximus in the beginning? The ghoul and Maximus were like fighting for 5 minutes while Lucy was escaping with the head, but the ghoul knows how to take down somebody with power armor.
Well, in that scene, wasn't it less like, you know, they weren't necessarily like this the whole time. I think like at one point Maximus got stuck, his foot got stuck, but otherwise like Maximus had the upper hand because he was like up in the sky and was like doing things from like a different standpoint.
Maybe.
And then later on, they kind of got more on level ground, but I don't think they were necessarily like facing each other like in a standoff position, and that's different for when he did that in the end.
Well, before, yeah, I guess so, maybe, because he wasn't.
I know
Yeah,
what you
I
mean.
guess,
Like, I
yeah,
agree,
but it's kind of weird
I
though.
wonder if we
Like,
can
yeah,
look back at that scene and see how they were fighting each other, because maybe
Yeah.
it just didn't make sense at that time.
because the ghoul killed almost every single Brotherhood member at the
Mm-hmm.
end there, like that was there, because the whole Brotherhood team was on its way, but there was at least like 5 or 6 soldiers there with power armor on, and he took them right out.
Did he kill all of them, or did
I think so. Yeah, he even killed the last one where like his head's blown off and he walks in and falls over, and like that's what I mean. He's kind of killed all these people with power armor and had no trouble, but he couldn't. So those were just two little mistakes that I saw. But yeah, another something cool though that I noticed that we're not sure if it's real or not. It's a rumor that I've been hearing as well. But Max's Mrs. Ally and enemy Thaddeus. He's the one that got the injection from that sketchy guy. Or no, he got the inhaler for the medication because he got his foot stepped on and his foot was all mangled and
yeah.
destroyed and all that. And so he got his foot stepped on, it was all mangled and all that. And then he finds that guy in the wasteland, he gives him a medication and it pretty much heals his foot. But then he gets an arrow to the neck and he pulls the arrow out and he heals that. So they speculate he's a ghoul. But what other people are speculating actually is that he's the first super mutant. So he's not a ghoul. He's actually going to be a super mutant. So he's changing as he's going on. Because we didn't see any super mutants. We only saw ghouls
true.
and
I forgot about
other
those,
wasteland
actually.
creatures, but we didn't see a Deathclaw and we didn't see super mutants. So that's exciting. That's something that we can look forward to. Yep.
Super mutants?
And then we didn't really touch on the Doctor though, but there is the Doctor who. Yeah. He's in the beginning for a short period of time. I don't know what.
He's the head.
He's
who's
the
got
head.
the
Yeah.
chip in him. That's like
Why did they? Yeah, he has a chip.
something about power.
Oh yeah, that's like
source.
one of the main
I
parts of
don't
the story.
know.
Yeah, he's got a chip in him, and it's like a power source. So, I guess the lady at the end, she knows how to work it and
Yeah,
sets
it's like super
power
important,
to the
but I
city.
don't
Yeah,
fully grasp it. But yeah, power to the whole city, so it's obviously very
yeah.
important.
So everybody kind of wanted his head at one point, and
Yeah.
yeah, I think what Hank wanted it because he wanted to destroy that, so the world didn't have power, so he could keep on with his vault.
Yeah.
And then the lady, who I forget her name, but she was friends with Lucy's mom, Betty, and she's trying to kind of save the world. And you can tell I don't think she's American. I think she's Indian descent, maybe Indian American, but I think that's why Hank doesn't
I
want
thought she
her
was
to.
Latin
Or
like Spanish
something
or
that's
something.
not American, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I think Hank's against her, because I think Hank's plan is to have only the Americans people, like, the whites come back.
Oh, I thought
to-
he just didn't want it because it wasn't time yet, and the vaults hadn't completed
Well,
their task yet, and he doesn't want anyone on the
She's a
surface to do
person of
anything.
color, though, and I think that's what they're trying to do is eliminate every single bloodline but American bloodline. Like,
But
Right?
also,
isn't that what they're trying to do, though? Or
no, because
like
the
true-blooded
the
white
the
Americans?
ghoul's wife is
Oh yeah,
black.
true. Yeah. She
I
is.
never
yeah.
thought that at any point. I didn't think
See,
it had anything to do with
for some
race.
reason, I was thinking that because I don't know. It's always about,
Yeah, especially, like, older
old white
stuff.
American
Yeah.
people. Like,
No,
but-
I just thought she had a different mission.
that's true though. She was
than them.
black, yeah, but she was the only I think person of color in that whole boardroom. I remember, but yeah, that's true though. It probably wasn't about race at all. Yeah. I just thought it was because there's an American thing and they're trying to destroy
Yeah.
all the other cultures and stuff. So I thought that's why.
But yeah, it
'cause-
is interesting they made her look like a villain at first, and she wasn't.
She's not,
so
yeah.
I can kind of, yeah. it's
Yeah,
fair.
because she was kind of like.
But no, I don't think it had anything to do with that.
Yeah, they showed her as being like the villain. Like I thought she was a raider at first, but she's actually trying to save the world.
Yeah,
And
she was a
then-
good person.
Yeah, but she doesn't look American, and she's trying to save the world. That's why I thought that Hank was trying to destroy her and her new world, since it's not American made, let's say, But yeah, I thought the vault was super cool because again, we don't see the vault's storyline in the Fallout game, so it was really cool to see that storyline. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all the things I have. I don't know what I have circled here. Oh, that was from our last movie, Immaculate. I was like, when did the American nun embark on a journey through the wasteland?
I don't really have much else to say about it. Like I feel like we covered.
Yeah,
Oh,
we-
I guess like reviewing like number one.
Yeah, yeah, the reviews. So, what would you review it?
I'd probably give it like a 9 out of 10.
Okay, I would give it the same rating. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. And other people have rated it. So Rotten Tomatoes, 93%. IMDb, pretty much a 9 out of 10, 8.7 out of 10. And for audience rating, it's got a 4.7 out of 5 out of 6,601 ratings. So this show really did
Yeah.
well. We'll definitely be seeing a season 2. I can't see us not getting a season 2. There are lots of storylines still going around, and the show speaks for itself. The ratings speak for itself. It's very popular. And I'm very happy that it's very popular because, again, being an old school Fallout fan, I've collected a lot of collectibles that were very cheap in the Fallout series because Fallout wasn't a big thing. And a lot of my collectibles have gone up in price, which I'm very happy about. So a lot of people are asking for my Power Armor Pop, which is the original. And I bought it for like $14. I'm seeing it online for like 60, 70. So hold your Fallout merchandise for Fallout 2 and maybe even a possible movie. And there's also a new Fallout game in development. So yeah, Fallout is booming and it might become a thing. So that's exciting. And yeah, that's pretty much our show. We're going to end off the show with one last thing. What movie are you looking forward to?
I looked up movies for 2025 and 24, and there's nothing that
There's
I'm
nothing?
excited about.
Not even just one,
I
eh?
don't care about any of them.
Yeah,
There's
I'm the
nothing,
movie
like-
person. She's not really the movie
Yeah, but, like,
person.
it's not
That's what
like-
makes her a podcast interesting.
But it's not like there's any movies that I like. There are movies that I would be excited about. Like I don't know.
Yeah, you
There-
just have to pick one.
But there's just nothing that I'm not. I don't know.
Okay,
There's just
so,
nothing. There's like
um,
a cool documentary or something, but I
Yeah.
haven't seen anything.
For me, like, again, it's not like something that was huge on my list or anything like that, but just to pick one for the show, I picked Fall Guys with Ryan Gosling.
Fall Guys, like
Fall Guy, Fall
based-
Guy or Fall Guys. It's not that game that we used to
Oh.
play. It's Ryan Gosling's in this new movie called Fall Guy where he plays a stuntman, but then he's
Oh, that
went to
sounds
go
interesting.
find the actor, the real actor for the movie, the guy that he's being a stunt double for. The director's like, go look for the actor. He's not at the set or whatever. And this is all I know from the trailer, and I only watched the trailer twice, so I could be a little bit wrong. But from what I remember, he goes and looks for the actor, but he gets, like, he gets put in this whirlwind of a world where, like, he's actually being shot at, and the actor was in like some bad stuff with some bad people that he's getting involved in now. Just because he's looking for somebody. I think he was looking for him, found a dead body. He's like, oh my God, a dead body. And then other people saw him see the dead body. Now they're after him and all that. But because he's a stunt double, he knows,
Yeah.
like, moves, right?
Yeah.
So he's just like a normal guy,
is it, like,
normal stunt
kinda
double trying to actually.
Comedy-ish.
Yeah, it's a
Or-
comedy,
oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So he's like, he's being shot at, but it's like they portray it like he's acting in a movie because that's what he's using,
Yeah.
those
That
skills.
sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So I am excited for that. But yeah, we're going to end off the show here. This was a special episode since it was a TV show and we usually do movies. But let us know what you guys think in the comments. Let us know what you guys think about the Fallout show. If you guys play the Fallout games, who is your favorite Fallout character? And what are you looking forward to in the future of movies and even TV shows? All right, guys. We'll see you next week with a new episode. Peace. I think that went really well.
I kept yawning. I was so tired.
Okay, don't be off, and it's still going.